Hello friends! Domekeeper is less of a game and more of a metaphor for the modern tragedy of how children have an innate desire to mine coal and other valuable minerals, but are held back by the evil Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938 and forced to attend schools. In America, the only way to let miners be miners is to illegally sell them off to a dangerous warlord's blood diamond operation, instead of letting them safely build character in the Tesla lithium mines back at home. Sorry to get political so early into a video, it's just something I'm very passionate about. In Domekeeper, you play as the Dome Getter, as you work for a company that retrieves valuable relics from hostile planets. What are these relics? Why do they look exactly the same on every different planet? And how does the company know where to find them? You begin each run with a safe and controlled descent down to a planet of the company's choosing. After one OSHA-approved landing, you get to work digging. Not that it'll be that easy. At first, your digging's going to be pretty slow, and it's a long way down to the relic. Not to mention, the indigenous creatures here are not friends of the free market, and will come at you in increasingly difficult waves. While you're digging, you'll come across iron, water, and cobalt. Love me some water ore. You can spend these resources on upgrading your mining and your defenses. You'll need to balance these two carefully so that your defenses are strong enough to hold off the creatures, and your mining is fast enough to find resources for those upgrades, along with finding the relic. The mining in this game is pretty relaxing. You can't afford to take your time because of the next wave, but nothing in the mines can hurt you, and finding resources is always exciting. Besides just resources, there's plenty of little oddities to check out while you're down there. Most importantly, are gadgets that help you mine faster or fight harder. My personal favorite is the drilling rig that automatically drills out the center of the mine and can then be upgraded to start drilling out the sides. Before you begin your run, you can select map size depending on how long you want to spend on a level. Smaller maps for quicker runs, and larger maps if you want a long drawn out run where you can max out all your skill trees and really spend your time down in the mines. A beautiful little feature this game has is that once you finish a run, you can watch a time lapse of your mine. It's not game changing by any means, but it just really shows that the developers know who their audience are. Currently, there are two playable characters you can choose from, Engineer and Assessor. Engineer is the starting character. To mine, simply smash your character against the desired rocks and then haul everything back up to your dome. Beauty in simplicity, just a hard-working blue-collar man putting in an honest day work. After completing a run with Engineer, you get a chance to unlock the Assessor. The Assessor is how you wage slave in style. You can still mine by trying to fuse your forehead with the wall, but most of the mining will be done by playing with your balls. Your kinetic balls. The best way to use them is to ricochet between two close walls for maximum speed. In short, you'll need to bounce them up. It makes it a little harder to try to dig with a cohesive strategy, but the potential for speed makes up for it. Dragging your goods around is a thing of the past. Assessor can bundle up resources and float them. You can have multiple bundles going at a time, and when you aren't carrying them, their speed isn't affected by how many resources are in them, letting you transport more efficiently. Bundles can be upgraded to move faster, last longer, and can also be made so that you can haphazardly throw them towards the center of the mine and continue digging. Assessor is an acquired taste for sure, but once you get used to them, I think that they're much better than those lowly little engineers down there with their tools. The peasants sicken me. Your ultimate goal is to reach the relic down in the mines. The relic is unlocked by finding and activating the connected nodes. Since everything is linked by these wires, once you find one, it's pretty easy to find the rest. But finding the relic isn't necessarily the hard part. You might not want to unlock the relic right away because collecting it activates the boss wave. Buckle up, big boy. The creatures of these planets come in a wide and extremely hostile variety. Big, small, flying, grounded. What they all have in common is an instinctual desire to beat your ass in the grass, so make sure to beef up your defenses. Picking your character affects your mining, but choosing your dome dictates your combat. The standard dome comes with a laser. Fascinating stuff. Oh, so we think we're a little too good for the magnifying glass in front of the sun trick, huh? Well, maybe you'll be more happy with the bug zapper. The Tesla Tower lets you charge up an electrical charge that you can use to stun enemies. It can be upgraded to stun better, fire twice, and give you huge balls. It is also noticeably more fragile than its counterparts, most likely on account of you being inside of a light bulb. You know, if all that science shit isn't up your alley, I've always been curious about what the sword dome was like. I don't know what I was expecting, but somehow it wasn't this. The sword does damage when you swing it at enemies, but way more interestingly, it does this. It sure can do that. Buddy, it can do that all day. This is simultaneously incredibly stupid and pretty effective. Last, but certainly not least, is the Artillery Dome. The Artillery Dome gives you a mortar to rain hellfire on anything that dared to evolve legs, and an anti-aircraft gun to punish anything with the hubris to grow wings. Your dome is your main weapon to handle enemies, but there are plenty of defensive gadgets to try out, and if you have the drones, the offensive ones are extremely helpful. Domekeeper is an extremely fun game that I've had my eye on for a while now. It actually turned out to be a lot more fun than I was expecting. The game is simple at its core, but does plenty to build on its foundation. The mining itself is pretty fun, finding resources is like finding little bits of serotonin, and the enemies work great to keep you on your toes. If you're not a fan of the pressure, you can even turn the enemies off altogether. The art style is really appealing, and you can even find little pets. Yay! If you have any interest in the game whatsoever, you should at least wishlist it on Steam so you can see when it goes on sale. It's a game I highly recommend, and one that you won't regret getting. Now if you'll excuse me, the yearning I feel to swing a pickaxe is greater than any computer can sate. I must move on to bigger and deeper things. Until next time, friends.